going on, people? Happy Cinco de Mayo, or as a whitey would say, it's Cinco de Mayo. Today's a good day. Went to the mall with my sisters, and while I was there, we were in Yankee Candle. My sister looked over to me. She had like a smile on her face. She goes, "Bitcoin dropped down to 36,900," and I guess she thought that like that was a bad thing for me. So it was almost like she was getting one over on me. But little did she know, I was in shorts. So I smiled right back. I said, "I reach a bish," and then we bought a candle. So, luckily, I didn't let the sleep get the better of me, and I am in the KDA short. Like as I was closing my eyes last night, at the wee hours of 4 a.m. in the morning, it started to go over and under that line. I think I got stopped out once, maybe twice, and I said, "No, I'm not doing it today, market. I'm not doing it." So I stayed up. I got the entry. It paid off. We're in 100% profit on KDA, and we are chilling like a villain in this BTC short. Let me move my face out of the way. I was down to about $2650 equity on the account, but since these longs are playing, not longs, but these shorts are playing out, we're back up to about 3,050, 3,100, depending on, hitting some lows, and chilling pretty good. I'm fairly confident. It obviously this is the best case scenario. I really didn't think that this was, you plan for the best, prepare for the worst. So I was really preparing for a retest to the upside, because we had that availability. But market said no, and I'm happy it did so. Now, we're not out of the woods yet. If we go down to the smaller time frames here, we can see that we are still technically kind of within that support region. All right. Technically, we've broken it, because as long as we're below 37,092, we are below support. We are below that local low. And that's a good thing for people that are in shorts. But if we do happen to get back above that, it could be another retest to the upside. We knew that this area was going to be choppy. I didn't really expect this much chop, but hey, can't win them all. So as it is right now, as long as we can stay kind of resisting off of this area, we should continuously drop down to about 34,040 before we see any signs of real support, because I really don't think that there's a good chance for us to catch support in this region. Obviously small time frames, that's another thing, but like actually just finding like a decent low. So I do think that when we are down at the 34 to 33k region, I think there'll be a retest to the upside. Depending on how that forms itself, I mean, we could be coming back up and possibly retesting. I would say 37,000, maybe a little bit higher. So I'll be looking forward to taking that hedge position. Now, if we get a lower low than 33,000, unfortunately, I do have to play that as if it's a macro. So I can't necessarily take profits on it. I will see how I deal with that, because the market throws things at me, and I have to decide what I'm going to do. I don't have a plan for everything. Most people think I do. I don't. I whatever the market throws at me, I try to think logically and calmly and approach it from what I think is best for my portfolio, which sometimes gets me in trouble, but we try our best. So as it sits right now, my thought process is, if we do happen to put in a lower low than 33k and we can come back above that support, I will be playing this as if it's a downtrend, uptrend, downtrend, large ABC. And from that point, I would still be sitting in my short. A lot of people go, well, if you have that long, and it is of a larger degree than your current short, why don't you take profit on your short? And I will eventually, if the market gives me that opportunity. If it doesn't give me that opportunity, I can't really play the correct way or what I'm hoping to do. So if this position does come to fruition, if we do happen to get a, like an A, B, C like this, right? At that point, if we do create a new short setup that is of decent size, that's when I can go ahead and take profit on my short, because at that point I now have a place of confidence to get back into to a short if the market does want to continue flowing to the downside. Otherwise, if it does continue flowing to the upside, I have that long just in case. Now for Kadena, we've been talking about this over the past couple of weeks. We can see that we came back up and retested the local low of $4.37, and we got rejected at it. All right. It was a little bit of a tense situation. I get that for a little bit because we had the short time frame ABC, which is what I got my entry off of. And then we had the large macro possible long ABC, which did not get triggered on my side, but it was there, and I had the conditional setup ready for it. So either way that this went, I was going to do what I needed to do. But with us getting rejected off of that and absolutely nothing in the world to fall down back onto macro wise, of course we have very, very small time frame local lows, at 33, $3.38. We have one at $2.51, and then they start to get a little bit larger once we start getting down to that $2 region. So I do think that like maybe momentarily throughout the process of going downwards, we will find momentary support. I'm not going to read too much into it, to be honest with you. All right, I know a lot of people are going to want to know what's the hedge, what's the hedge, what's the hedge. Unless a real setup presents itself in this region between $4.37 and $1.40, there's really no reason for me to prematurely take profits or even hedge. All right, I'm not going to play the small time frames anymore. The only reason why you saw me playing on this small time frame, particularly for KDA, was because it was in confluence with the macro here. So once again, if we broke $4.37, doesn't mean that we won't get a retest to the upside, but now we look further down. Now, my personal take profit is $1.90. All right, the reason being is because with shorts, they're not necessarily as profitable as longs to hold for a very long period of time. The one good thing you do have about it is, I would say like 85% of the time, 90% of the time, the funding rate is going to be in the direction of me. So I'll be, collecting a couple cents a day on my short trade, making up for, I don't know. But hey. That being said, I'm extremely delighted on how the market is working itself out. Like I said, I didn't think that this was the highest likelihood for us to immediately break this support. I'm glad we are. So hopefully you guys are chilling, killing like villains, and we continue to cruise this money machine throughout the bear market. And I want to shout out somebody. There's a dude in my group, and yesterday he was kind of stressing out because, hey, we were having a little bit of a retest to the upside. And when you're sitting in shorts and you see a retest to the upside, you get those jitters, those feelings. And he was willing to talk it out. And, he calmed himself down. He waited. He was patient, because the main thing is what you look at is what's the risk to reward. If you're only going to lose $50, but you have the chance to make $1,000, all right, if the setup is still valid, all right, don't back out of your position just because you're scared of a little bit of price action. And he held on to the trade. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to get into it myself because I'm lazy and I wasn't able to wake up for it. But he took the ENS trade that we talked about on stream a couple days ago, 2 days ago, whatever it might be. And he held on to it. He persevered through this retest to the upside, and he held it, and he took profit, I think, like 1905. So if he took full profit and didn't take half profit halfway through, I don't know, I'm not going to speak for him, but I don't know what his stop loss was. Let's just say that right there, it's like almost a 20 restored ratio depending on what he was using. So I'm very happy to see people. It's not the win in terms of the profit you made. It's the win mentally that you made, if that makes any sense, because it takes a lot of nerve and it's a willpower to hold yourself back when your entire physiology is screaming to get out of a trade or take half profit or do this, do that. And if you don't let these positions that are like fantastic play themselves out, you're going to be missing out on profit over and over and over again. Hey, hey, hey. So I just want to say kudos to that guy. He knows who he is. If he wants to say it in chat, he can say it in chat, but very proud of people that can do that because it's hard. It's insanely hard. Anton, how you doing, man? Doing fantastic. Had a good day with the fam, and price action speaks for itself. We're chilling. Here, give me 1 second, guys. I'll be right back. I need to go pick up the food off my doorstep. Not food for me. I ordered dog food for fish. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. What about the huge ABC setup on ENS? That's the whole reason why I thought it was a decent idea to take the small one. Because the reason why I initially took the ENS trade here is because of this large time frame setup. Now, I'm not in that trade, so I can't dictate how people play it. I can never do that anyways. So, I mean, you know, although like I did wish that he would have held on to, this trade for maybe a little bit longer because there is a lot of downside. You can't blame the man, you know. The fact that he was able to stay in the trade when we had this little retest here, I appreciate the effort, and he wanted out of it because it is stressful. It's a lot. So, when he saw the ability to say, okay, I made some good profit, he called it quits. There's nothing wrong with that. But you get better at it from, and hopefully my channel is an example of that. I've had some decent trades where like I take a short from up here, but I take profit a little bit too early, and I'm trying to manage that emotion in myself as well. So, this long holding out until we had confirmation of what we were going to do, holding this short despite having all this, shot price action is stressful. So it's definitely practice, and you're not going to be able to perfect it right away. But those small wins mentally where, you're able to just kind of hold out for a little bit, let price action do what it do. Let it do what it do. Well, what was your portfolio? You started on this 3K earnings? So I started with about $1,600 because I started with 1,000, and then I kind of was shit, and it fell back down to $400. I refilled the account back to 1,000 with 600. So technically, I started with $1,600. So, we're at a 3.1, 3.2. So, double the portfolio. It ain't glorious, but it's probably a lot better than what most people can do. I can guarantee you that. Because this has been a tough market over the past couple months. But I do see a light at the end of the tunnel. We're starting to level out, starting to hit some of these lower lows. And eventually, once we hit 28,000, and particularly on the CIX, if we do have to come back down a little bit lower than 28,000, if we can hit some of these local lows, such as 117,000, we might be able to catch that bottom, guys. All right, but here's the thing. Like, I look around the market, and you have to be honest about what's happening. We can't hopium our way to victory. It's just not going to work. All right, look at the local lows. Play smart. Don't get emotionally attached to stuff. It's okay to let go of things if the market's not looking right. There's so much pressure on people in the crypto market to hodl and hold, all right? But you don't have to do it ignorantly. You can target those local lows. Buy at places where it makes sense. If you're just buying to buy, all right, for the layman, that might work. Setting up a Coinbase buy to be automated once a week so you don't have to think about it. I get that. But if you're here, if you're looking at these charts, you have the capability to mark out simple support and resistance, and be patient and wait. All right? Because you're not going to miss the boat. Like I said, all right, this wave of crypto is so damn big. Even if you have a surfboard, you're still going to catch that wave. You don't need a big ass boat. All right? Take it slow, be patient, do the correct thing. Because you only got like one chance at this. All right, well, there'll be more bull markets in the future, but as time goes on, the amplification of what's happening is going to slow down. We can see that. We go from $200 to $20,000, and then we go from, $4,000 to 60K. So, we might only go from 25K to 150K next time. All right, so we're losing that amplification as we go up, just how the market works. The more money that's in it, it gets harder and harder to hit those targets. So be patient. I'm telling you guys, just don't take my word for it. Go look at the statistics. All right, don't look at the 100 BTC wallets. That includes too many exchange wallets. All right, go look at the 1 BTC or more, or 10 BTC and more. All right, we are nowhere near the HODL levels to cause a supply effect that would cause a bull market. We do not have the inflation rate that is getting cut in half to be priced in to cause a bull market. We don't have these factors. You look at the money itself. The chart tells you this, right? Money is not in the market. Money is leaving the market. The inflation rate is stagnant, right? There will be retests. There will. But there's going to be more downside. There's going to be more hurt. Don't rush into these projects thinking that they're going to be different, all right? I'm not saying that in terms of the technology they offer. I'm saying that in terms of the market flows in one way. It's called bull and bear cycles for a reason, right? You might have a little bit of like a pop in one coin versus another, but genuinely they are all following the same direction. So be careful. I don't want to see anybody get hurt. I've missed your channel, Kite. I'm a follower of your advice on harmonic Elliott wave. Woke up my mind to how charts behave. Most definitely. And it just simplifies things a little bit. Makes it more easy to digest. This price action is making it hard to sleep. I gotta work tonight. If it keeps up, I might not need to worry about that anymore, though. Yeah, we're cruising down here. But oh my lord! If we go down to the 1 minute time frame, we can see we have bullish ABC. Does this mean I need to hedge my macro short? That's the type of behavior that I don't condone. All right, stick to the higher time frames. Take a chill pill. Slow it down. Johnny, thank you very much. Happy Cinco de Mayo to you as well. Ekiet. There's a show on Netflix that just came out within the last couple of days, I'm pretty sure, called The Pentaverate. It has Mike Myers, dude who plays Austin Powers, and he like plays a lot of the different characters. It's got Key and Peele. And well, not it just has, you know, which one's Key and which one's Peele? I think it just has Key. Yeah, Keegan Michael Key. And it is funny, man. It's a good one. Nice earnings. What was the risk when you started? When I bombed the account, I was able to get from $1,000 to $5,000, and I was using about, I think, 3 to 5% risk. But that's the thing. If you do get a good clump of trades that'll work out correctly, yeah, you can take your account from 0 to hero pretty fast. But then it only takes a couple of big screw ups, and you can bomb it pretty easily. So that's where, like, if you don't involve too much, keep it to 1% or less, it keeps the emotions out of it more than anything, and that's what really causes the loss. Or if you can keep your emotions in check, profit. Is there a new setup on ETH at 2,753, or is it not valid? 2,753. All right, man. I'm gonna be frank with you. No, man. Let it go. All right, chasing. You would have taken this trade, this trade, this trade, this trade, and now you want to take that trade. All right. There's a point to let these things go. All right. Look at the support levels. All right. Just look at this previous uptrend right here. All right. We had uptrend, downtrend, break. Uptrend, downtrend, break. Ethereum does not have any viable support until around 2,445. That's when you should start looking for long positions. Now, only reason why I was willing to take, I wasn't taking Ethereum, I was just taking BTC. was because BTC was close to a support. So right now with Bitcoin below that support and Ethereum with no support, I don't think it's a good idea. All right, not financial advice, do what you want, but that's how I personally see it. Do you have any suggestions on how to play your spot account? For your spot account, which is a more traditional hodl and hold type account now, I do have a specific part of my portfolio which is strictly hodl and hold, but I'm only targeting local lows. Now I have another part of my hodl account which I do set up stop losses about 7.5 to 10%. So my hodl account, it's most likely always there's never a decision that I make that's not necessarily a daily time frame. All right, so I have bought Bitcoin on this line. All right, once we came back above it, and if we come back down here, I'll buy Bitcoin, and if we come down here, I'll buy Bitcoin. All right, now I'm using Ethereum in particular because Ethereum has this extra local low right here, which BTC does not have. All right, BTC, there is no local low. All right, and I'm talking about a sizable one. We have this right here, but I do want to use Ethereum to kind of target possibly the bottom of the market here. So for me, if I see Ethereum hit $1,300, that's pretty much where the last bit of my money is going to go into the market. Sounds like you've been watching me trade, had some good ones and had some bad ones. Pretty much break even. And trust me, man, like I have just as many bad ones as everybody else. You don't think I get stopped out 5 times trying to get an entry? I do. The difference is, most people, when they get stopped out 5 times, they'll get it back into the trade because, that's what I'm supposed to do. And then they'll take profit the first chance they get. I'm broke even again. Take profit. Or, I made a little bit of money. Take profit. If you don't let the setups play out, you're not going to reach your full potential. All right. I still got about $800 more left in this. And if we can get down to about, 29,000, I still got, another $600, $700 left in BTC's profit. So if that all comes to fruition, my account should be sitting around, $4,700 by the time we hit the bottom of these shorts. If I can catch a good hedge long and take profit on the short, like we were talking about, I can increase that maybe above 5K. There's no rush, man. We got like 2 years. 2 years of sideways price action. Plenty of time. If you think we're in a bear market, what's your thought on holding ENS until BTC completes its lower low? I support that decision. Like I said, me personally, the reason why I was willing to play ENS was because of the large macro. All right, look at what ENS has done. All right, this is what I'm talking about. If you can find these positions, you can anticipate what might happen. And then of course, if the opportunity presents itself, you can always hedge because there's never a certainty in the market. If we look at ENS, ENS has had a downtrend. ENS has had an uptrend. What are we missing? We're missing the lower low. All right, if not a double bottom. All right, so for me, ENS, you could hold that baby all the way down, but the problem is, if you take your short from here, all right, you got a 65%, and even at the halfway point here, you would have a 45%. So you're missing out on 20% of the profit, even at the halfway point. So that's why I'm saying shorts. The lower the price point that you would like to hold it, the less it starts to make sense. Because if you take profit on a short, say at the 45% mark, right, and then you re-enter it You don't need price action to go down as far to start making profit again in terms of what you were available to do in the first place. Does make sense. I don't know how to really conceptualize it that well without showing somebody like from the profit perspective. How low will BTC go, Kite? I don't know. Like I said, I don't look at it that way. All right, right now we can talk about the probabilities based on where it is sitting, but I don't know where it's going to go. All right, like I said, if we look at the chart here, all right, the local low that we just broke beneath was 37,216. If we cannot get back above that, and we might even go back up and retest it like we did with KDA, right? If we cannot get back above 37,216, the next logical support region is around 34,400 to about 33,000 flat. All right, that's the next available support, and where we could find, a possible larger retest to the upside, possibly coming back up and retesting that $37,000 region again. Or it could fall flat on its face down. Now, if we break through this region, 34 to 33K, then price action will most likely fall back down to 29,000. Just how it works. If it breaks support, we fall down to the next one. Sushi bro, sushi. I don't have any thoughts. Now, what's difficult for me is this right here looks like a much larger wick than it needed to be, so I can't quite tell where the honest local low is on that right there. But same goes. Now, if we're just like doing shits and gigs here, where's the average on that? All right, the average is right there, so it's getting close to a possible support. But like I said, that wick is gnarly, so I don't know where it's going to actually land here. But you have a couple of long positions that you could get into on the way back up. But other than that, the market's going down. But I don't think I'll be touching Sushi for a little bit. It's unfortunate, man. I really liked Sushi a lot. But, at some point you just have to say it's okay to let something go. Because back when I was playing Sushi, we technically had every reason to still be somewhat bullish, but that time has passed. We're too far deep. What percentage of your portfolio do you take per trade? 10%. I'm looking to take an ABC long with Adam. What I'll tell you is, like I said, look at the macro for BTC and Ethereum. Both of them have either no support or are below support, with availability to continuously drop to the downside. I don't know what setup you're looking at, if it's a smaller time frame or not, but what I'll tell you is, if BTC go down, those altcoins go down too. I mean, if you have a long setup, like I said, it's not simply the fact that the long setup means that it will go up. It's just simple that you have a now structure on how you're going to enter your trade, how you're going to get out of your trade. That's all you really need. As long as you're safe with it, there's no harm, right? Because anything can happen. Like I said, I didn't think that this support was going to break, at least for like a week or so. And here we are, so. I use Hakanishi candles because it helps me identify trends better. In the way that I trade, the only thing that matters is trends. I don't trade off of candlesticks. I don't trade off of indicators. I trade off of trends and the local highs and local lows that are found in them. Switch the direction of the camera here. Boop. Totally agree. Macro bearish, but the setup is so big on the daily time frame. It's hard not taken. I get it, man. I get it. But, you know, it's across the board. You can see that. We had the same thing happen on Sushi. We had the same thing happen on Kadena. You know, like right here. We had A, we had B, we had C. All right, it was looking like it could come back above that A, but it was merely a retest. So. Hey, Mr. Kite, how you doing? You're right all this time I fell for the bull trap. No, there's no harm. As long as you're playing it safely, that's all that matters. I was right there with you. I was taking some of the long setups. You know, I guess it was just a fortunate luck that I was sleeping during the last one, so I saved myself $30. But, you know, like I said, I was taking every single long that came back above this local low right here. The account suffered a little bit, but one little tiny drop and we're back in profit from what we were before we even started taking those longs. So. So if I understand, we're in a medium B, but in a macro C wave. Yes, but I would consider at this point, we are probably in the C wave, but if it's going to be anything like the macro here, it doesn't have to be necessarily, but you know, you can see that this was a three-parter, ABCA, ABCB. So we might get an A, B, C, C. That's a possibility, most definitely. But we do have to come back down a little bit lower in order for that to feasibly happen. But what I've seen is usually you have one fast wave and then two slow waves. All right, so look at this one right here. All right, this one we had ABCA, and then we had ABCB. And then for the third wave, we didn't have an ABCC. We had smack. So that could be what's happening. Most definitely. So time will tell. Time will tell. I don't have a TP because I don't know where I'm going to TP yet. Like I said, I need a price action to give me a new short position in order for me to get out of my short position. I'm not saying that that's the right way to do it. That's just what I'm doing. Okay. You know, if you're still using the 0.441 take profit method, there's no shame in that. Absolutely no shame. But I am trying to play a little bit more strategic in terms of like, you know, like setting up defenses, stuff like that. I will consider taking profit on my short if we get a macro bullish setup, and then from that point the market gives me a short. So like right here, let's say we put in a lower low and we came back above this A. If the market came back up and made, you know, something like this, right? Once we put in a higher high, I will take profit on my short, right? And then I will be holding along from down here. So if it does continue up, so be it. But if we do happen to come back below that A, I now have a place of confidence to get back into the market. And you have the people that go and cry and they go, but I could have taken profit at the logo low and I could have made all the money. If you're concerned about making maximum profit, you're going to lose out on the ability of safety, which in turn will make you more profit over a longer period of time. Short-term games versus long-term security is not the move. Not the move. Because if the market is going to continue going down, I can just get back into the short, right? That's why I'm waiting for these things to happen. It's exactly what I did while taking profit on my long here and taking profit on my long from here. All right, same move. All right, once the market came down and I had my macro short position, obviously I can't use that as an example because I didn't get that one. Once I had my macro short position and the market gave me a new place of confidence to go long from, I took my profit on BTC. All right, I didn't catch the top, but if we did happen to continue going up, I could have re-entered my long here and continue going up to the next local high of 52K. But otherwise, I'm just kind of, I'm just flipping flopping. I don't know where to go long from now. Because over here, all these setups were way too small for me to long absolutely every single one. What do you think about the 200 MA on the weekly? It has predicted the bottom so precisely the past two bear markets. Where is that sitting? They're around 25,000. And then you said the weekly? Yeah, it's sitting about 25K. Now if we kind of stretch this out here, if we came straight down, it would hit 26,000. But I mean, it can go below. You can see like right here, went below, right here, went below, right here, went below. So I do think it's an accurate measurement, just based on previous price action. But until we break below 29,000, there's really no reason for me to look for outside sources, especially when Ethereum has another local low below what is appropriate comparative to 29,000. So I have something to kind of judge what my my trade's going to be here. I have a 1% stop loss. Question, Mr. Kite. In your opinion, which altcoins are best to leverage with the most profit? It all depends on the setups. So, like KDA, for example, I don't typically play KDA, especially because it has low liquidity. The odds of you getting a decent trade and hold on to it pretty low. But I looked at the setup. The setup was, if we stay underneath this line, we have a 66% drop. All right, so I've fat R&R. All right, and then obviously the risk is low as long as I keep it low. So look for setups like that. Look for established coins that have some sort of representable price action, not just these shit coins that are just going crazy for no reason. Look to see if the coin has structure. If it has structure, you can make a plan. If you can't make a plan, then don't. All right, leave it alone. And the trick to it is to time your approach with Bitcoin and Ethereum. All right, that's most people are trading altcoins, but they're not really paying attention to what Bitcoin and Ethereum are doing most of the time because it's telling them the opposite of what they want. Right? You're so invested in your altcoin pumping, but you're not willing to admit that the big boys, Ethereum and BTC, are going to dump or have the highest possibility in their favor of dumping. Then you're going to make dumb decisions. Thoughts on DXY? DXY. Oh, looks like we got an ABC top right here. You can see we got a slightly higher high. So it might be time for the market to have a cool off. We're looking at the local lows here. These are the strongest local lows. So we'll see. And if we go, let's go to a weekly time from here. Yeah. So it looks like because of that double bottom, it does have a little bit more pressure to the upside. But you can see we have uptrend, downtrend, uptrend right here. All right, so 103 on the DXY. If we can't stay above that, like if we can stay above 103, then we should be able to go back up and retest 120. But otherwise, we will have to retest the downside, probably somewhere towards 88, or possibly just slightly lower here, possibly coming back down to 78. But let me look at a larger time frame here. Look at 14 week. Because you can see right here, we have a large ABC, which has already kind of played out to that 0.441. It looks like the 0.5, 0.618 right now, but yeah, it's in between the 0.5 and the 0.618. So that kind of makes sense for us to come back up and maybe retest this region right here before seeing any further downside. So I would say the DXY probably has a good couple months of still like primarily upwards price action, but once you see it get to around like 112, all right, that's probably when you're going to call it quits, and you're going to start seeing it fall off. Okay, do you find it a good strategy to try and catch the short-term bullish setups when alts carried by negative funding rates? No, typically what you would want to see is you want to see sideways price action in Ethereum and BTC, and then you want to see that as well reflected in the altcoin. And then you need to see like if you want to do that strategy that we talked about, where you're basically playing the mathematical game of if you can stop out all the shorts, it will cause a spike, and you can make a lot of money off of long. You need extremely high negative funding rate. I'm talking -2, -3, -4. Right, -0.015 is not going to get you any advantage really in the market. It's pretty much as even can get. So. Rolling. What's my mining profitability at? I just have the other computer going right now. All right, about $2 a day still. Very nice, very nice. Almost to my next payout. Curious, how's my mining portfolio doing right now? Pull this over here. Okay, not that bad actually. I was expecting a lot worse. I think I was sitting at about 165 yesterday. So, still chilling. Chilling. I copped that Air Force One. I'm gonna be honest. If that shoe was real, I probably would buy it because they do look pretty cool. Now, if your next comment is they are real, then we have a problem. Because I might have to buy them. How's the Russian ruble doing today? It's up. It's up a lot. What the hell, United States? All that talk, all that smack talk shit get hit. What a guy, man. How's the SPY doing today? Oh, it looks like SPY's coming down too. Like I said, SPY does have this setup right here going for it, but I don't think it's going to last. I do think that it might continuously drop down to 372. The US 100 is the one I think that was waiting on. Yeah. Same thing for the US 100. So we have a slight drop in the these markets here, down to the next local low with a nice ABC setup. So we're setting ourselves up for, if we look at BTC here, so it's a lot healthier than it was last time. So if we look at this market coming off of this, we had our A, and then our B, and then our C. I would say this was a lot more violent, but we're basically setting ourselves up for a retest like this. All right. It's going to take some time, and then comes in the sideways price action. And a lot of people would like to think, but Austin, look, big down, big up, big down, and then big up. And then they go and they take that and they go, Austin, big down, big up, big down. That means big up, right? No, it doesn't. All right, look at the time frame of this. All right, look, this took, 1,000 days for it to work itself out. All right, right now, we are only chilling at like a third of that, my dude. We have some time. All right, we have some time. What are my thoughts on AMP? Down. I'm just kidding. Yeah, down. There's really nothing much I can say about this chart, man. There's no local lows for me to target. There's nothing. I can't say shit. I'll look at hopefully some other charts have some information. No. There's nothing for me to say. I would say if we can get back above this local low right here, all right, and this local low right here, all right, then we can talk about possibly, seeing, upside from there. But until then, no, it's just going to continuously go down. When you have no local lows to fall back onto, you have nothing to catch you. nothing for people to anticipate a bottom at. Therefore, if we can't get back above this, there is no bottom. Just how it's going to go. So I think I have found something that has actually helped me so far. So my schedule for nighttime, I have been, around like 11 to 12 p.m. I'll take my melatonin, and then I do about 15-20 minutes worth of stretching, and I do my breath rate monitoring. And by the end of that kind of like stuff right there, I can usually get my heartbeat down from like 100 beats a minute down to about 75, 80, which pretty good. So super excited. Talking like an old man. Okay, what time frame do you enter the market? It's perspective. If you need to, you just need to see what you need to see. All right, if you have a big monitor with a lot of screen real estate, I can see everything that I need to see from a 2-hour time frame. Oh, and I forgot to do this. I'm so sorry. So on a 2-hour time frame, I can see this macro, this macro, this macro. I can see this AB. I can anticipate a C. All right, so 2 hours pretty good. I can see what I need to see roughly, like a medium to larger time frame on the 30-minute. I can see up, down, up, but I can't see that large uptrend from over here. So I would say like the hourly is good. Now, what you want to do is, if you do have the availability, if you have a large A and a large B, you can use the smaller time frames to catch the larger trend, right? If I have an A, a B, and a C, and if we would have gotten something like this and then came back below, I would have entered earlier, right? But because we don't have that availability, I can't take that trade. So you have to use the smaller time frames in conjunction with what you believe to be the best possibility for the macro to move. All right, not the other way around. You don't go on the micro time frame searching for trades without understanding what the macro wants to do, because then you're just setting yourself up for failure. And I feel like a lot of people have that backwards. They'll sit there on the 5-minute all day, but not see them go out to the daily chart all that often. They go, I'll just go watch my favorite YouTuber. He'll talk about the daily chart. All right, but you have to conceptualize it. If your brain doesn't know how it works, hopefully you get it. Yeah, I'll definitely be here throughout pretty much the entire bear market. I ain't got nowhere to be. I'm going to use this time to focus on my health and do things right from a health perspective, because that's one thing that I completely sacrificed this bull run. All of 2019, 2020, dude, I got no sleep. I stayed up all night watching charts, having fun a lot too, but I put everything on the back burner. And if I was to do it over again, I would do it differently, even though I probably wouldn't have made as much money, but I would do it differently. So that's what I'm going to do this time. I'm not going to make the same mistake. But manage risk, bro. Stopped out all 3 times and seen a few hundred of potential profit turn to $5. Hey, that's what's up. So that's one thing that I told that guy in the Discord yesterday. He goes, I'm kind of tired of seeing my profit waste away to nothing. And he goes, I was $800 in profit. Now I'm at $100 loss. I go, well, just think about that for a second. You were able to get into $800 profit very easily. And despite all that, you only lost $100. So do it again. Maybe next time it will work out better. And he did. And he took the NS short and he held on to it. I don't know what he walked away with at the end of it, but hopefully pretty good. I saw some guy on YouTube, he had fib channels spread throughout the chart. Perhaps we call it fib grid. If you look back at my previous videos, I did use GON fans, which are very, very similar. And to a certain extent, they are pretty accurate, I will say. But for leverage trading, it's going to interrupt your thought process way too much. I don't think that Fibonacci's, in terms of the, the GON fans, the fib fans, whatever you want to call it, are conducive to a healthy trading strategy with leverage trading. Leverage trading is so finicky, you can't have room for interpretation. That's where, like, I don't think market cipher is appropriate for leverage trading. I think it can be good to gauge market conditions on a macro time frame, but I feel like the majority of people that are using market cipher, they're using it on 5-minute time frame trying to scalp. I did too. I had various success with it, but really at the end of the day, the only thing I used on market cipher was the VWAP. Eventually, I tried to create like a checklist system where I needed to see, 4 out of the 6 indicators all lined up perfectly, and it's too much work. Too much work. What do you think about the ETH price 5 years from now? Do you see a significant change, or do you think it'll be around 3K? We'll see. We'll see. I honestly can't say because Ethereum has such a head start. It's like all these people that go, but my coin is better than the Bitcoin. All right, but what your coin doesn't have is time-tested reliability. All right, so Ethereum, yeah, it has its problems, but I do think it's going to stick around. I do think it's going to outlast a lot of coins. There's a lot of coins out there that are better than Ethereum. All right, I don't know for certain. I'm just saying that there probably is. There's always new technology that is theoretically better, but because it doesn't get tested, you can never know for certain. So what's your strategy in the bear market? Do you like short alts? Yeah, if I do find a way to get into a short on an alt that coincides with what BTC and Ethereum might do, I'll take it just because it's a lot easier for an alt to dump than it is for it to pump, contrary to popular belief. Kite, did you just dump on us? That's mine. I was doing the Pentaveret thing. Has anybody in the chat seen Pentaveret on Netflix yet? If not, that's your guys' homework. If you're having trouble thinking about the charts constantly, set your alerts. Otherwise, don't look at your charts. All right, trust me. So that's one thing that I was talking to the one gentleman about is if you guys are having trouble, find out what your weaknesses and your strengths are. So for me, in the past, it was when I got into a trade, that's typically when the anxiety was the worst. Once I was in the trade and it was in profit, so be it. Let it ride itself out. I don't really care. So for me, what I did was I built like a regimen around that, right? Once I got into a trade, I would set up a alert line when I got stopped out, right? Other than that, what I had to do was I had to sit here with my hands on the table, my chart open full screen right in front of me, and I had to close my eyes for 20 minutes. All right, if I did not hear the alert, all right, then I can't open my eyes. Once the 20 minutes is up, it's just kind of building that habit of the chart's going to do what the chart's going to do. You having your eyes on the screen, not doing anything at all, besides probably influencing the fact that you're going to frick something up. So, if you are the separate way where like you can get into a trade, but when the trade is kind of bouncing around, like maybe the past couple of days where it's kind of been iffy, set up an alert to, whether or not you need to enter a trade, such as coming back above this local low, or put a thing on your stop. All right. If your trade is not getting interrupted, there's no reason for you to be looking at it. Now, once you build up that habit of being able to be detached from the charts, like I can sit here and I can stare at this all day. It doesn't make me want to go change what I'm doing on the Bybit side of things. Maybe if the time is right, someone pitches me something I see like on ENS and I'm like, hey, that's actually a good position. I like that. I'll take it. But it's because I'm approaching it from, I think it's a good idea based on what I'm seeing, and I'm not changing anything to fit that opinion because it was a good setup. It was. But other than that, you don't need to be staring at your charts. So to practice, go on Netflix tonight, look up the Pentaveret. All right. It's a hilarious show with Mike Myers, the dude who plays Austin Powers. It's about like kind of like the Illuminati, but it's the Pentaveret, a group of 5 people who run the world, but they're nice. It's a really funny show. So I need people to get the inside jokes. I put a curse on you. That was one of my favorite parts. You guys will get to it. Okay, can you please show us your take profit and fib? So that is not the strategy that I'm playing at the moment. But for example, right, if you have an A, a B, and a C, right, if you do happen to get into that position, I drag in the direction that it's going. So I start from the bottom to the top. If it's an upwards ABC, I start from the top to the bottom. And I target between the 0.5 and the 0.382 generally. All right. If there is a large bias to the downside, I might only target the 0.618. All right. It's like right here, for example. All right. I had a lot of bias to the downside. We had an A, we had a B, we had a C. All right. You can take top to bottom. You can see, if I had a lot of bias to the downside, taking profit at 0.618 was a good idea. Unfortunately, I was about $30 off on my take profit. So you win some, you lose some. But, it is what it is. It is what it is. Pentav. I think that's how you spell it. Let me see if I can find like a picture of it. Yeah, here it is. So it's called the Pentaveret. It's got Mike Myers, Lydia West, the naked dude from The Hangover. He will always be known as that. It's got Keegan-Michael Key. Hilarious. It's a really good show. Give it a watch. It's kind of crude humor, so it depends on like who you are, but if you liked Austin Powers, you'll like that. Thank you, Rainy Day. I appreciate that, man. Learning how to be human 101. Drugs, health, money. That's pretty much what it is. That's the entire human experience wrapped up in one. Hey, my I'm a man, so I'm not gonna say it, but my my stretching mat came, or like it's on delivery. All right, fine. It's a yoga mat. It's a freaking yoga mat. What am I? What? Stop. I'm a man. I'm a man. It's athletic stretching, not yoga. Yeah, because trying to stretch on hardware floor is not not conducive to healthy knees. I'm actually surprised at my level of mobility. Not gonna lie, I can touch my toes. And now it does take me a second. It's not like I can just bend over and touch my toes. I have to like, start reaching for my toes, and then breathe in, breathe out. Let myself sink down to my toes. But I'm getting there, getting there. But I do think I'm gonna be heading off here pretty soon. I'm happy to be a part of this lovely price action. And I would have been on earlier. I was, like I said, I was out at the mall with my sister, so I couldn't really go live from my phone without looking like a family vlogger. Need to start meditation ASAP. You should help with trading. What do you think? Yeah, don't put too much like mysticism into meditation. Just let it be what it is. If you want a good book where it's basically meditation, but it's also relating it to the science behind it, look up a book called Heart Health Mind or Heart Breath Mind. And basically it's like meditation. You're sitting there calm, quiet, and it involves you like counting your breaths. So Heart Breath Mind by Leah Lagos. Really good book. Definitely is. Because if you're breathing more than 6 times a minute, technically you're signaling to your body that you're in high stress. All right, or your body is in high stress and it's causing your breath to be that way. But because your breath is voluntary as well as involuntary, if you train your breath to breathe 6 times a minute, then you should do that naturally. But sometimes it gets out of whack. So you can kind of use it as like heart rate variability training plus meditation. That's what I do. I just sit there and I breathe in, breathe out. And then when I let my air out, I count to about 6 to 7 seconds. And then I breathe in, breathe out. I don't hold the breath. I just breathe in, breathe out. And then I hold the exhale. Because your heart slows down when you exhale. So you want to have the exhale to be the longer of the two. As long as you're breathing, 6 breaths a minute, you'll be fine. Okay, also, I have a short since 40,000 on 50x. All right, I get it. I'm the biggest person that says that leverage doesn't matter, but mind giving me a little bit more detail on that? Like how much of your portfolio is wrapped up in margin? What's your stop loss? Because 50x sounds like a lot, but you could be using like, 1% of your portfolio is margin with like a 0.5% stop loss. Who knows? Sweet, man. Let me know how it goes. Now, you'll like I don't know if you got the hardback version of or whatever. I typically do audiobooks, and she narrated it herself, so it's got that personal touch. The author of the book narrated it, so she can read it how it's supposed to be read. But the opening kind of feels like that feel good. We're gonna take all the stress away, you know, kind of thing. But no, the science is solid. The science is solid. %1 stop loss. Okay. So I don't know. I don't know what kind of stack you're working with, but as long as you know you got, because technically, if you wanted to stay safe but still use 50x leverage, it would have to look like this. You know, let's say $1,000 just for example, 1%. We can do what 50%, and then yeah, so that would be yeah. So 1% of your portfolio's margin with 25% risk of margin, which would be, oh my bad. Well, it would be like 2%, 50% here, and then 1% here. Okay, that's how I could visually set it up just easily. So 2% margin, 50% of said margin, which would be 1% of the entire account, and then you got 1% stop loss. That would come out of 50x leverage. So I'm not trying to, you know, I was just curious. So it's always a good example because a lot of people do come into the chat talking about leverage, but I just don't think it's using the right terms. As long as everything's kosher, I'm just trying to do right by you. You're asking a man to sell. Should I sell my house? What was the ticker for that housing market thing? Who brought that up in chat the other day? I'm not sure. We talked about gold a couple weeks ago here. So, macro time frame, we talked about this particular ABC possibly working itself out if we came back above $1,888. But if we cannot hold $1,888, there's no viable support for us to drop back down onto until we start getting close to this region right here. So I do think that if things continue the way that they are, we should see a possibility of a retest around $1,780. Then we got to a larger time frame as well here. All right, reason being is we did not put in a higher high than 2,075. So I don't think there's severe downside coming, but if we do zoom out a little bit further here, we have uptrend, downtrend, uptrend on gold. So that is something to be aware of. So right now, technically, at the point that we are standing, we are bearish on gold. As long as we are back below 1919, we should be seeing some sort of retracement. And like I said, I don't want to call like the 0.382 of this large ABC. That doesn't really make sense when you're talking about a deflationary asset. But 1458 is a particular target that you should be aware of, and then 1163, and then 1043. And if we can't find support at one of those three, we should be looking at about $685. Don't think it's a likelihood, but we'll see. We're at $685, only about what, 2008. Could happen again. We'll see. We'll see. All right, guys. I think I'm gonna head off. I'm gonna watch some TV. I gotta clean up the guest bedroom. Look at all my miscellaneous stuff in there. We're about to have a guest over the next couple of weeks, so I gotta get to cleaning. And yeah. Chill day, chill day. Appreciate your time, as always. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll try my best to be on around 1 to 2 p.m. EST. Don't know how well it's gonna work. As always, you guys know me. I'm consistently not consistent, but with good intentions of being consistent. So, eventually, the guilt eats me up. And I'm consistent for a while, so. I'm gonna go do some stretches. Let's pick a song for the outro. And Marlon Craft has an album coming out in about 10 to 15 days, something like that. I'll have some of his music to play on Livestream coming up here shortly. Let's see what we got. Has Nick D put out any new songs? I like Nick D, but his style has definitely changed from like more of like a rapper to more like poppy music, because he's really killing it on TikTok. He went from like 100,000 monthly listeners to 2 million, and I can't hate the man. Like he's got bills, he's got a kid, he's got to eat. But I do miss his old style of music a lot, so I'm probably gonna, I'm gonna play one of these songs out of respect for him, because he's like my local town rapper who is actually good. There's a lot of local town rappers, but nah, he's the shit. So I'll play some of his music. So if you like him, Nick D, Spotify, I'll play this one first. I'll add it to the songs I played on stream playlist found in the description. And other than that, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Let's do the thing. You watched Trust No One, The Hunt for the Crypto King on Netflix? I saw it, but I've seen like 1,000 Bitcoin documentaries. I know that one's probably like trying to find Satoshi, but I'm sure that it ended with no information. But, I'll take another look at it if you think it's good. All right, guys. I appreciate your time. Let's go ahead and do the thing. Log off. Have great nights. Do some stretches. Don't freak out. That's the number one thing. Don't freak out. Bye. I'm the Hulk.
Everywhere we go, my girl keep a Glock in her purse, and she don't think that she'll need it, but she's prepared for the work. I put on a suit, Houston, we have a problem. Mayday coming, I think I'm too fly. Yeah, I think I'm too fly. I don't always explain how I feel. I'm either numb or I'm broken. Sometimes I debate on what's real and what's hopeless, baby. I feel great. I slept with one eye open again, and now I'm running everywhere we go. I'm not extra, I'm an introvert. If I pretend I don't feel it, then there's no way it could hurt. I put on a suit, Houston, we have a problem. I think I'm too fly. Yeah. I think I'm too fly. Everywhere we go, I damn understand. Patience is a virtue, baby. Uncle Sam, he a fan. Unload some your burdens, baby. Bada bang, bada bam. I feel universal, no longer alone. I'm still thinking about how no one can stop me. I'm still 7th round, pop, Rocky. Money stand 5 foot tall like a jockey. Well, picture me, I need a ladder and a top seat. Sorry about it, baby, yeah, my goals a little lofty. When she want a crib and a car key, baby, little bossy. But she know I get it, getting money is a hobby. Think it's about time. I put on a suit, Houston, we have a problem. I think I'm too fly. Yeah. I think I'm too fly. I feel I ain't even gotta pop pills. If I go, then I die real. Talking to you's like walking through a damn minefield. High heels, hear 'em come from a mile still. Tell me you feel how I feel. Talking to you's like walking through a damn minefield. I ain't even gotta pop pills. If I go, then I die real. Talking to you's like walking through a damn minefield. High heels, hear 'em come from a mile still. Tell me you feel how I feel. Talking to you's like walking through a damn mile. Get going, tiptoeing. She was gone with the breeze, like the wind blowing. It's cold and hot-headed and frozen. Part ways like I'm Moses, pink roses. Everything go up, every door opens. Everything come down, everything closes. Gotta aim, that means that thing loaded. I don't say nothing else, you don't need motive. Yeah, used to hold hands, now we been folding. Try to play odds like I didn't notice. I ain't gonna land mine like explosives, I told you. Baby, what color is your parachute? You wanna love me, you embarrassed too. I feel I ain't even gotta pop pills. If I go, then I die real. Talking to you's like walking through a damn minefield. High heels, hear 'em come from a mile still. Tell me you feel how I feel. Talking to you's like walking through a damn minefield. I ain't even gotta pop pills. If I go, then I die real. Talking to you's like walking through a damn minefield. High heels, hear 'em come from a mile still. Tell me you feel how I feel. Talking to you's like walking through a damn Talk about a kiss when your lips got a little gloss. Don't gotta talk, it's the vibe that you giving off. Withdrawals from the talks, we had different thoughts. Staying from the pain of the thing, had to get it all. I've been overthinking about it. Do you really love me, daddy? Guess there ain't no way around it. Captured by grace, all the while you try to keep a straight face, looking at me sideways. Hand on your Bible, other on your rifle. Got them both beside you, but that's for survival. I feel I ain't even gotta pop pills. If I go, then I die real. Talking to you's like walking through a damn minefield. High heels, hear 'em come from a mile still. Tell me you feel how I feel. Talking to you's like walking through